Hey everybody, look, it's JasonBlaha. It's T-Man, I'm back with the Bomba Clot himself, JasonBlaha, strength and fitness dude, man. The lifting, gym, recruiting, lifting slave dude. Yeah, man. Let's review this video. Blaha says, inflamed gut, carnivore diets are not a long-term solution. So let me get this straight. If you have an inflamed gut, your natural diet is not a long-term solution. So eating your natural food in wild, that what you would eat in nature, which is animals, is not the solution. Wow, long-term solution. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something that really needs to be said, and I think it's one of the frustrations for those of us who've been doing this a long time. We are knowledgeable.
Yes, it needs to be said, okay.
Nutrition, we've helped a lot of people, particularly things like irritable bowel syndrome, right?
He's helped a lot of people with nutrition? He's a nutritionist now, okay, whatever.
Which is actually multiple different conditions have all been classified as IBS. So it actually is not just...
Those aren't conditions. Those are people eating an unnatural diet. That's what. They're not eating their natural diet and they're suffering. Some tolerate it, some don't tolerate it so good you get older, then you can't tolerate it. You tolerate it. For a while, it depends. People eat moderation. Here's the thing. If you poison yourself in moderation, will it totally kill you? What if you increase the poison? These poisons, these toxins, these foods, you eat them, they're poisonous, they're toxic. So then you increase it a bit. Maybe there's some discomfort, sometimes inflammatory response, whatever. But then when you increase it really high, then you run into problems. But as you get older, your repair mechanism doesn't work so more. It doesn't repair your body from all this damage you keep doing to it. It's constant hormetric in a hormetric state, which it's not hormetric anymore, eating poisonous food. What it becomes is, it becomes aging, accelerated aging, and inflammatory, and it becomes damaging. That's about it.
One medical condition, but it's generally related to some sort of inflammation of the lining of the intestine that causes people to not be able to handle FODMAPs.
Yeah, your body's, trying to adapt to this poison, but it can only adapt so far because you keep hitting it and hitting it forever.
Basically. So I've had to help clients with this, who then we were able to successfully bulk them, who were usually underweight as a result of this. I've also helped to realize.
He had clients underweight. He was able to successfully bulk them. Bulk them. Does that sound like building muscle? Bulking and building muscle? No, they don't sound the same.
My friend with this many years ago. So this is one of those things to where, again, tell you straight up, you don't have IBS, so if you're gaining weight from eating these foods, that's usually not an irritable bowel syndrome, by the way. Usually if you really have it, you're one of the people who struggle to gain weight, such as doctors I've had. But I digress. Let's get back over to the point of this. So when we're dealing with IBS, we're seeing people who are shifting over to a lot of the carnivore type stuff.
Wow, his arms look very shaky there. That could be sarcopenia. He looked very shaky, repping that out.
Going to destroy your health, right? And they're usually like, well, the problem is that I can't handle all these vegetables and things, and so I have to just cut them out. And the problem is, sure, your IBS is a problem, but now you're going to create enormous amounts of other health problems because, as I've pointed out, the data is overwhelming about fruits and vegetables, all-cause mortality, health, cancer, diabetes, obesity, all of these things, right? So we need to be consuming large amounts of vegetables and fruits as a normal part of our diet every single day if we want to maximize health. Right? That is not optional. So here's the problem then with this sort of approach is that they're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. And the reality is...
What's he mumbling about?
If you have severe IBS and you can't handle a lot of these fibers, and particularly the FODMAPs, the solution is to go on a low FODMAP diet. It is not, I repeat.
All of these things that he's mentioning are unnatural. He's making them up. No fab, going on a no fab diet, maybe that's the solution. Do this diet, that's the solution. Do this unnatural diet. Do that artificial diet. Do this artificial thing. Maybe that will help you. Why not just do what's natural and you'll be fine? That's why Jason looks the way he does. and he performs the way he does because he's unnatural.
Not to go over to a zero fiber diet, because in the long term that's not going to fix your problem. You're going to have a lot of other problems develop. You're going to have gut form.
You notice he shaved his chest. He shaved the hair off his legs and his chest. I bet people haven't even noticed that. Yeah, man, he thinks he's a bodybuilder. He shaved his legs and his chest. He has no hair on his body. What's up? And there's no hair on his head.
Problems, and you're going to pretty much force yourself to have to do this for even longer, right? Because what you need to be focusing on is healing your gut while still having a healthy diet.
Oh, Jason, that's perfect form there for you. Do perfect forms build muscles, Jason? I bet, according to you, a perfect form is what builds a muscle. A form builds a muscle, not eccentric exercise. They don't damage muscles, and then your body repairs and remodels them when protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's how it works, eh? Oh, I forgot. You're building muscles, lifting a weight. The weight is building them automatically.
And a lot of that will involve.
Yeah, like I said, man, I don't know. I just know that perfect form is not going to damage muscle fibers, but whatever. It could possibly. Do you need it? Not really.
Making sure that your gut flora is healthy. So the idea here is you have to go on a low FODMAP diet. And there are plenty of vegetables you can eat. Things like spinach, things like carrots, okay? Rice, bananas, these things all work really well. These are perfect examples. Okay? So if a person has such severe IBS that vegetables seem to inflame it, they need to go on specific vegetables that are easy to digest and don't ferment the same way in the gut. Okay? While their gut is healing. Okay? But they also don't need to be eating a bunch of pro-inflammatory foods. And I think this is the big problem people have with these other sort of diets. They do that, then they eat foods that will promote general inflammation in the body. Right? Red meat.
Red meat doesn't promote inflammation in the body. What are you talking about? It's the unnatural diet that you're eating is promoting that.
Butter. So on and so forth. This is
Butter doesn't inflame your stomach. None of these things cause inflammatory responses. They're natural. They don't have toxins, poison, and oxalates and whatever else, bro. And it's not sugar. So it doesn't inflame your stomach. Meat does not have sugar or toxins in it. Hello?
not the stuff that you should be eating if you have a major inflammation problem, even if it's localized to the gut, because then on the hormonal side.
How would he know all this stuff? Has he experimented with any of this? No. He's fabricating and making this stuff up.
All the inflammatory prostaglandins and things, you're going to increase those. Right? This is not what you need to be doing.
When you're on a beautiful meat diet, your hormones are going to be regulated. Your sleep is going to be better. Just everything is going to be better.
Eggs would not be a good choice here, for example.
Eggs are not a good choice. Look, Blaha, give me one reason why I should eat fruits and vegetables. I'm on a pure carnivore diet. But please, if you could give me one good reason why, look, I'm not suffering from any health issues. If anything, I feel stronger and better than I've ever felt in my entire life being on a pure, I'm a carnivore all my life. I've been a carnivore all my life. I've had no issues, but I'm pure carnivore now. I'm not adding any of these artificial foods in my diet. So I need to know from you why I have to eat vegetables, a lot of them, and fruits. Tell me why. Give me a good reason why I should eat those.
Due to the arachidonic acid, if you've got major inflammation problems, your solution is to...
If you're inflamed, it's because you're eating artificial food that you're not supposed to.
Eat the foods that will not inflame the gut wall any further.
Yes, don't eat food. Don't eat stuff. Well, look, everything is food. Here's the thing. I love what he says. Don't eat food. Let me ask you a question. Is bark food? Can you eat bark off a tree? Of course you can. Can you eat paper? Can you eat sand? So everything technically can be food, even rocks. They found rocks in dinosaurs' belly. So can you eat these things? Are they food? Yeah, even the paint, it could be considered food. Hell, cockroaches eat the paint off the wall. They eat everything. They eat cloth, your shirts. They drill holes in everything. They eat plastic. Fuck it. Can you eat plastic? Yes. Is it considered food? Of course it is. Anything that you put in your mouth and you swallow can be considered what? Food. But is it healthy for you?
You need to have a balanced diet with plenty of antioxidants, plenty of anti-inflammatory stuff to help you heal that
Anti-inflammatory? Antioxidants? Yeah, meat has that. Meat, animals.
lining. Because that's the problem with the other things. You're not supplying the nutrients
Plants don't give you antioxidants. They're used for themselves to protect themselves from UV.
On these carnivore type diets to actually promote the healing that you need.
On these what? These carnivore type what diets? You mean these your natural animal diet? To heal what?
You don't have all the anti-inflammation. You don't have all the antioxidants. All the things that we need to heal the inflammation and the damage over time is not being supplied. You're simply trying to reduce the irritation.
The damage you're doing over time is eating these toxic plants. Hello? These engineered, man-made, farmed toxic plants. That's what.
Locally, and that can be
And processed food.
done while still eating plenty of vegetables and fruits of the right types, but you have to be picky. You have to go down the list and look at the FODMAP value of them. And if you do that, I have found many people do just fine. Their IBS gets better. They're able to do things. And again, just by being picky with it. But I mean, those are perfect examples. Rice, carrots, spinach, bananas, right? Those work extremely well for people in these situations.
Rice, carrots. Rice is filled with arsenic. Carrots are bad for you too, and all the rest of these things. What's he talking about?
We're struggling with the digestion. Hey, now they can still eat certain lean meats and stuff.
You're not struggling with digestion. You have like a high acid. Your stomach is really high in acid. It's made to break down meat. That's what it does. Yes, yes. It's very powerful acid you have in your stomach to digest meat.
But I wouldn't be eating a bunch of saturated fat necessarily. That is not optimal, and you don't need to be cutting out all these extremely nutritional foods. And if we do these things,
You don't need to cut out these extremely nutritional foods. What is so nutritional about these so-called foods that you're talking about, Blaha? What's so nutritional about them?
better in the long term
Are you saying meat's not nutritional?
while you get it under control. And keep in mind, things like this sort of gut damage, if you follow the right sort of approach to heal it and eat the foods that do so, it is not a lifelong thing, meaning you don't necessarily have to
I think he wants to mess you people up.
suffer with IBS indefinitely. You can eventually start working the foods back in. But the problem is that people want these short-term fixes and they cut these things out and they don't realize the other long-term damage they're doing. You know, you get people say, but it is controlling my IBS and my inflamed gut for now, so what's the problem? Well, the problem is going to be the long term. You're going to have other gut problems because you are going to have a problem with the gut flora. You're going to have extinction of a lot of the species in there that you want. And repopulating them is not that easy. You might be why you have the problems to begin with, because you followed a really bad diet without enough fiber, created much of the problem. So you have to reintroduce things over time slowly. All right, so that's part of it. The other thing is going to be all the other health consequences. The potential insulin resistance, the risk of cancer, the risk of cardiovascular disease, the other general inflammation you're going to have in the body as a result of this, because this sort of dietary approach isn't anti-inflammatory, it's very pro-inflammatory over the long term. Right? You're going to have problems with fatty liver, you're going to have problems with...
Yeah, you'll have fatty liver and all that. You'll have problems with that because fructose.
insulin resistance, you're going to have these problems.
Meat doesn't make you insulin resistant. It has no sugar in it.
When your diet consists of, again, extremely heavy on saturated fat, and particularly when we're low in all these plant nutrients that you need. This is
Low on plant nutrients. You can't absorb the plant nutrients because plants are anti-nutrient.
a bad approach, and I see it being...
You can't digest the fiber because it's cellulose. Humans can't digest cellulose. It's known fact.
put out way too common, and the problem is that it creates other health effects while temporarily, apparently magically alleviating the symptoms, there are better approaches, such as what I broke down, of just being very selective in the fruits and vegetables that you eat and still being able to eat significant amounts of them. Because again, in the long term, the consequences are going to be devastating.
If you eat significant amounts of them, you're going to look like Blaha, sarcopeniad. That's what I discovered.
It can be absolutely devastating. And most people who try these sort of carnivore type approaches eventually admit they start running into health problems and they can't do it long term. And if it is your only solution to
This is pure bodybuilding.
your IBS, now you're really going to have problems. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
That was absolutely uninformative. That was uninformative, man. I'll see you in the next one. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. More crazy shit by Blaha trying to convince you to eat lots of vegetables and fruits to destroy yourself faster than the last time. See you later, friends.